You are listening to Eat Meat Sparingly, a Word of Wisdom podcast. I am your host, Ali Essig. Before we begin this week's episode, I want to let you know that Plant Wise will be starting our Jumpstart program, and that will be in January. So if you are ready to just reset and take 40 days to really reset your habits, focusing on abundance and eating more plants, this is the perfect time to join our collective membership. You will be given step-by-step guidance, exactly what to focus on each week so that you don't feel overwhelmed. And we do a lot of mindset work along with really getting you to eat the right amount of foods. We focus on just adequate protein. We don't ignore protein and we don't over obsess about protein. We want to make sure you're getting your protein, but more importantly, you're getting enough plants. 95% of Americans are not eating enough fiber, period. This should be our focus. We need to be eating more fiber. And in the Plant Wise program, we do a cohort together. We work with you together all at the same time, and that will start the first week of January. I have included the link below if you want to join our Jumpstart program. Now is the time. It's the perfect Christmas gift so that you are ready to hit the ground running. And if you grab it now, you can take some time to review some of the videos, maybe even do some of the emotional eating embodiment challenges before we officially start our Jumpstart program the first week in January. All right, I am back from Puerto Rico, where I went with my family. My husband's father turned 70 years old, and we got to all go with just the kids and the spouses. All 11 of the children are married, and so every single one of us came, and we all left our children behind. And it was so fun and enjoyable. My sister-in-law, I have a couple sister-in-laws that actually prefer to eat more plant-based, so it was nice to not feel alone, but it can be difficult sometimes. Two of us are pretty flexible. I am pretty flexible with what I eat. Same with my other sister-in-law. And I even had another sister-in-law that is really health conscious, but we're flexible for trips. But one of my other sister-in-laws, she has celiac disease, so she can't be flexible. Like, it's not an option for her. It's a true allergy. And so sometimes it was difficult to go to restaurants, and sometimes she had to separate herself. She couldn't join. She had to go and find something else, or she often packed her own food. And I admire that. And I honestly honor and admire anyone else out there who is doing that extra work, who has to, or who chooses to. On a vacation, that's the one time where I take a step back. I do believe in eating meat sparingly, so I allow myself that option. But most of the time, it's pretty easy to find a plant-based dish, even if it just means ordering sides. Like in one restaurant, I ordered just like a side of vegetables and then habichuelas, which is frijoles or beans. So a side of beans, and they were delicious, and rice. That was like my go-to meal. Let me just get the side of veggies and then beans and rice. I love how satisfied I was, how full I was, how good I felt. I was able to stay regular, which you know can be difficult when you're on vacation. But there was one restaurant I went to where I looked at the list and was like, dang, do you have anything that doesn't have meat or dairy or isn't fried? And she looked at me and was like, oh, honey, you are in the wrong country, which made me laugh because it's technically part of America anyway. But it happens sometimes. And I just needed a little bit of food to get me through. So I ordered something very small. It did have animal products. And I just kind of made it to tide me over, where my sister-in-law had to leave, go find another restaurant. And that was a whole different thing. The subject that I want to talk about today relates to this, because sometimes when you can't always get what you want, we give ourselves guilt. We tell our bodies, I'm so sorry, or this sucks, or, oh no, oh my gosh, I'm eating ham and that's going to cause cancer. Like, oh, it's a group 1 carcinogen. It can cause a lot of stress in your body. In fact, one of my other sister-in-laws, back in the day when we went plant-based, she tried it out too, along with us, but she felt like it was too stressful because she would go to family events and see sausage or these other meats and just feel stressed about how that food was responding or would respond in her body, her kids' body, her husband's body. And I got to a point that just for her mental health, she had to take a step back. And that's what I want to address today. Like, it is not worth your mental health. And this is why. I absolutely love, if you haven't heard of it, the rabbit study. If you haven't heard of the rabbit study, it was in the 1970s where researchers fed a control group of rabbits a high-fat diet and monitored their blood pressure, their heart rate, and their cholesterol. And as expected, many of the rabbits produced this buildup of fatty deposits on the inside of their arteries, which is what happens when you eat a high fat diet, right? Especially when it's high in saturated fat. However, there was one group that surprisingly had a much smaller rate than others. In fact, it was as much as 60% less fatty deposits inside their arteries, 60% less than the others. So it still did happen, but it was significantly less than the others. So what made this difference? Why did that one group, even though they ate the same diet, not have as much fatty deposits and buildup of that plaque on their arteries? Well, they discovered that every rabbit with fewer fatty deposits had been under the care of one researcher. She fed the rabbits the same food as everyone else, but she was an unusually kind and caring individual. When she fed the rabbits, she talked to them, she cuddled them, she pet them. I love this study because it shows you the importance of your inner talk, how you talk to yourself when you eat food. And during the holidays, it's the perfect example of you're going to probably be eating foods that you normally wouldn't eat, that you normally don't have in your home. Again, I honor you if you completely avoid it or if you have to avoid it because of an allergy. Like, you're amazing and so incredible. And I also want to talk to those who are going to choose to enjoy those foods, because it's not just about enjoying them, or maybe you're stuck in a situation where you literally have no choice. And because it's not an allergy, you can partake instead of go hungry. But here's the thing. It's the week before Christmas, and Christmas can be a really tender time. There's more food, more pressure, more expectations, and often more self-criticism. You might be saying, I'm just tired, or I'm overstimulated, or my routine is totally off. And it's really easy to turn on ourselves at this time. So today, again, I want to talk about something that has nothing to do with willpower or meal plans or even supplements, but it has everything to do with how you speak to your body. Okay. So this is the key. I want to be really clear up front that this is not about one specific single magical study. What I'm sharing reflects the overall direction of research in a field called psychoneuroimmunology. So psychoneuroimmunology, which shows and studies how our thoughts, our emotions, and our nervous system affects inflammation, immunity, and even our healing. And what this research keeps pointing to is something surprisingly simple. Your body responds to how safe or threatened it feels. And your inner voice plays a huge role in this, a huge role. The nervous system is always scanning for danger or safety, and your inner voice is interpreted as real, actual input. And what's also interesting is that your tone matters maybe even more than the data. Now, we have a child that is a little bit more difficult than my other children. She is officially diagnosed on the spectrum, and we have her unique challenges. And so I've paid for the program Good Inside, which is where Dr. Becky is a therapist, and she teaches you important lessons every single week. And this last week, she taught me something that was fascinating. She says the words of your voice almost don't matter. Your children need to hear your tone. So say you were cooking some food for them and you give it to them and they didn't want it. Like, I don't want this. And instead of being like, oh, you don't want it, right? The tone should be like, oh, you don't want this? Oh, that must be hard. The tone almost matters more than the exact words that you're saying. And it's so important for your child to feel seen, to feel heard, to feel understood. And here's the thing. Adults are no different than children. When I was in Puerto Rico, I was having a difficult conversation with my brother-in-law, we weren't talking about politics. It was more religion, but it was like a political conversation where he felt some way and I felt another way. And we love each other. It was like total respectful conversation, but he was saying the words like, yeah, I get where you're coming from, blah, 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 but the tone wasn't there. The tone wasn't there. And I'm sure it wasn't there for me either. Let's be honest. But you can say the words, and if the tone's not there, you're not going to feel seen. You're not going to feel heard. And that was the point. I'm like, I don't feel like you understand what I'm trying to say, right? Because the tone wasn't there. And when it comes to how you speak to yourself, your body listens to tone before it listens to information. You can eat all the right foods. You can do all the things. You can eat a perfectly plant-based diet. But if your inner voice is harsh, if it's impatient, if it's angry, your nervous system still reads, this is unsafe. This is not okay. And that is going to affect your inflammation, your immunity, your healing. And so it's so important that our tone to ourselves, that we don't speak to ourselves in a harsh tone, that we're patient with ourselves, that we're not angry with ourselves, we're not sarcastic with ourselves, because our nervous system is listening. And as we were in Puerto Rico, we were playing this game called Who Was Most Likely To? So most likely to what? And it was interesting. I got all of the ones that were related to like taking a selfie or Instagram or any of those things. My husband was most likely to argue with anyone about anything. He's the attorney, right? And my sister-in-law was most likely to think that someone's flirting with you. It was really funny. But one of the most likely tos was my other sister-in-law, who is the one that said most likely to apologize for everything. And it's true. When you know her, she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. It was so funny that it got to the point that we all opened up our phones and our text messages, and we read within the last couple of texts, the last text that we got from her, every single one of us could read, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm so sorry that you have to wait for this. I'm so sorry. Like every single one. And there's some interesting things when it comes to like life coaching, that instead of saying sorry, you can say, excuse me. Like just a simple thing, like in the grocery store, if you run into someone, oh, instead of saying sorry, you say, oh, excuse me. You know, that as women, we tend to apologize and say sorry way more than we should. And the point is, we think that we're doing the right thing by apologizing. We think we're doing the right thing by saying, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But as is with my sister-in-law, like it's not the best choice of words for the moment. It's not. It can be, but really, let me tell you a story when it comes to food. So one story that really has stayed with me came from a doctor who was working with a patient who had chronic pain. And for years, this woman spoke to her body with an apology and frustration. She said, I'm so sorry I ruined you. I'm so sorry that you're broken. I'm so sorry that you're in pain. I'm so sorry that you have to go through this. Now, this sounds polite, right? This sounds like she's a sweetheart. And you know she is a sweetheart. And you would think that she's doing the right thing to apologize to her body and to say, I'm sorry. But here's the thing I want you to take away. If there's anything you take away from this whole episode, it is this. She made a shift, and this shift made a huge impact on her health. For the first time, she tried something different. Instead of saying, I'm so sorry, she told her body, thank you. Thank you. Not a fix yourself, or why won't you behave, or I'm so sorry you had to go through this, or sorry that this sucks and sorry that I did this to you. It was just thank you. Thank you. And she would say, thank you, body, for doing the best you can. Thank you for always showing up for me. Thank you for letting me hug my child, that I get to experience this. Thank you that I have a body so I can feel the warm water that comes out of the head of a shower. Which personally, after being in Puerto Rico, we stayed at this place where they did not have hot water actually at all. It was like a glamping situation. It was so beautiful, but there was no hot water and no air conditioner. And so when I came back home, I'm like, thank you, hot water, right? But thank you for our bodies, that we can feel these amazing experiences because we have a body. And she shifted that from I'm so sorry to thank you. Thank you. I'm so thankful that I have a body, that I get to experience this life, even if it is with chronic pain, even if it is in this situation. Within days of shifting from I'm sorry to I'm thank you to thank you, her muscle tension dropped by about half. Not because she found the right supplement, not because she was eating a perfect plant-based diet, but because her nervous system finally stood down, right? She stopped fighting her body, and her body stopped fighting back. I'm going to repeat that. She stopped fighting her body, and her body stopped fighting back. And we don't think of saying sorry as a way to fight our body, but saying thank you just has a different energy to it, a completely different healing energy. Saying sorry is not coming from a healing place. Thank you, gratitude, that's literally a higher vibration. That is quite literally a higher vibration. And that is what is going to help reduce your inflammation. That's going to help you improve your immunity and give you a fighting chance to heal. So when we were in Puerto Rico and I had gotten some food, and it was the only place that we could, it was a ham sandwich. And I was like, oh, body, I'm so sorry. This is the only thing I can give you. I'm like, wait, no, I know better. Thank you. Thank you that you can digest this. I never feed this to you, but thank you that you can. Thank you that I don't have to go hungry today because I didn't plan ahead. Thank you that I'm going to feel full and nourished. Just like that researcher who petted those rabbits and loved them, I just said, thank you. I love you, body. I love you. And that is how you really should try to focus on talking to your body during Christmas, right? This is exactly the season, the time of the year that we need to shift. We're eating a lot of food that probably isn't super healthy this time of year, which usually equals more guilt, right? More shame, more self-judgment. But instead, maybe we sit with more reflection, more love, more joy. I'm so glad I have a body so that I can taste sugar and chocolate and all these sweets that you're eating. Just be so grateful. Tell your body, thank you. Thank you that I get to have this experience, to taste these delicious flavors. Thank you. And yes, you may still have some side effects like me over Thanksgiving when I let myself have a little too much ice cream and then was physically ill for hours. That always sucks. No question, because your body's not used to that crap and it's best if we just avoid it. Seriously, I do think the Costco ice cream is like so calorie rich, so not good for you that it even just more than like a little half a cup will make me ill. So you do want to do this with discernment, a way that you can enjoy the foods, but not so much that you get sick, because nothing tastes as good as feeling good. So you do want to prioritize having the energy during this time and prioritize the plant-wise plate, eating a fruit and a vegetable with every meal, eating a whole grain. Like I said, when I went to those restaurants, I tried the best I could to get the rice and beans and the vegetables as much as I possibly could. But you can't control everything. And this is the time of year where we can be especially hard on our bodies when we overeat a little bit or can't control the food. And we tend to apologize to our bodies, or even worse, criticize our bodies. And then we make promises that we're going to punish your body in January. Don't worry, we're going to punish ourselves come January for all these terrible decisions, right? So all I'm asking in this episode is for you to reframe it. What if this week, instead of apologizing to your body or shaming it or promising to punish it in January, that you thank it? Just thank your body. Thank you. Thank you for the reason for the season. Thank you that I get to experience this, that I get to be alive, that I get to be surrounded by loved ones. Thank you for the experiences that I'm having because of my body. Just thank it. Okay. So for your daily practice, I want you to try this at least once a day during this week, during the holiday season. I want you to put a hand on your chest and another hand on your belly and take a big deep breath. Just inhale and exhale. And I want you to bring the feeling of appreciation. Really bring your awareness to your heart and think of something that brings that feeling of appreciation, that gratitude, that joy, that awe, even just awe or love. To me, when I think of that, I think of my cute little 6-year-old boy who yesterday tapped me on the shoulder. And I turn around and he like gives me this card and runs away. And in the card, it was just, I love you, Mom. It was just the cutest, right? So think of an event or a situation that just brings you that joy, that gratitude, and just feel gratitude and appreciation in your body. Feel it. Feel it. Let yourself sit in that appreciation. Appreciation is such a powerful emotion and feeling that we don't allow ourselves to sit in it very often. And it's so beautiful and healing if we can spend the time to just feel good, to feel loved, to feel happy. And now I want you to move that feeling down towards your gut. So your other hand's on your belly. I want you to feel that appreciation down to your gut and just be so grateful for your body and how it is able to digest your food and keep you alive, and how it's able to assimilate all of the nutrients that you give it, and all of the work that it does every single day, day in and day out, without you ever having to think about it. You don't even have to think about it. It just does it. Just be so grateful for what it's doing for you. It's keeping you alive. Just sit in that feeling, moving that gratitude down towards your gut. And then expand it even further as if it's a white light that goes throughout your whole body, down your feet, down your arms, up towards your head. Just see if you can fill your entire body with gratitude. You can let go of that person or event or experience that brought you that feeling of gratitude in the first place. Just let it go, but still feel the feeling. Inhale it in and it expands even bigger, and exhale. And as you feel this feeling of appreciation and love and gratitude, you inhale it and you drink it like it's water, and you exhale. You promise yourself that you're going to pass it on to others and not just keep it with yourself. You're going to tell others thank you. You're going to give others so much love. And you'll spread that appreciation so that they can receive this gift as well. to help them through this crazy holiday season. And this whole practice only needs to take about a minute. It doesn't have to be that long, not as long as we're spending now. It can be quick, but it's just important that you do it. And if you can, even say out loud, if possible, to your body, thank you for carrying me. Thank you for healing, even when I can't see it. Thank you for doing your best today. This isn't about affirmations. This is simply nervous system regulation. Feeling grateful, saying thank you regulates your nervous system. And when your nervous system is regulated, your inflammation goes down, your immune system improves, and you feel safe. Take that big deep breath, relax, and shake it all out of you. Now, this is why when it comes to the Plant Wise program, I don't just teach plant-based nutrition. I started doing it that way, but I realized that there's so much more. There's so much more to this. In fact, right now I'm in my church responsibility. I'm serving in a position with the Steak Relief Society presidency. And as we were speaking with the Steak Relief Society president, she said, I've interviewed all of the other Ward Relief Society presidents to find out what is troubling their women the most. And it was interesting. There was the pattern that she saw that it went back to two things. The biggest thing that they're struggling with is number one, mental health, and number two, loneliness. And we often don't think of mental health being as simple as saying thank you. Mental health is regulating your nervous system by simply just letting yourself feel good, feel loved and appreciated. But it can help your mental health so much. And in the Plant Wise program, that's why I knew I needed to bring in these aspects that improve your mental health along with it, because food is so emotional. Let's be honest, emotional eating, so many reasons why we tend to overeat, but also it can feel really lonely when you're choosing not to eat meat or dairy. You're the weirdo. You're the one, like one of these things is not like the other, right? You are the one that's being different than pretty much everyone else you probably know. And it can be lonely. And that's why in the Plant Wise community, we have that community so that you have each other, have each other's back. And yes, we will teach you plant-based nutrition, but we go far beyond just plant-based nutrition. We teach you these simple techniques and methods that will help you throughout all aspects of your life, honestly. And that's the biggest thing that I get back from people. Not only are they feeling amazing because they feel so good in their bodies eating more plants. They're like, I'm 60 years old, but I feel like I'm 30. You have all that energy, but they're able to improve other aspects of their life because we're working through these principles that really are life-changing. So remember, food supports the body, but this feeling of safety and gratitude, it allows your body to be more efficient, to be more effective, to feel safe so that it can actually use that nutrition in the best way possible and minimize any negative effects, just like with the rabbit study. And so before Christmas, right? Remember, if this week feels messy, if your eating isn't perfect, if your body feels tired or bloated or inflamed or even just slow, I get it, like I'm tired after my trip, right? Then here's the invitation. Don't apologize to your body. Thank it. Don't apologize to your body. Just thank it. Your body hears everything your mind says. So let it hear love. Let it hear love. Again, this is the kind of work we do inside Plant Wise. Yes, we talk about food, but we also talk about safety, compassion, learning how to partner with your body instead of fighting against it. And if you want to join the Jumpstart, the first 40-day Jumpstart program starting in January, then click on the link below. This is the best deal I offer to join our program. And I only do it 3 times a year. We do it in January and then in the spring and then the fall. And that's it. To be a cohort, to go through everything together with each other, supporting each other. We have prizes, we have challenges. It really is such a fun group. So make sure to click on the link below to learn more, and I hope to see you inside. See you next week, and have a happy holiday season. Thank you for listening to Eat Meat Sparingly, a Word of Wisdom podcast. I'm your host, Ali Essig. And if you need more help and support with transitioning to eating more plants so you can lose weight and improve your gut health and just reduce your risk of chronic disease, then make sure to check out my Plant Wise membership. That's PLANTWHYS, because I like to teach the why behind eating more plants. But if all you need is just a couple more delicious recipes that feed your family and everyone loves, and not to mention super simple and easy, then make sure to check out my YouTube channel, which is also Plant Wise, PLANTWHYS. Hope to see you there.